In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Welcome to the show. We're going to start out with the DAX index like we usually do. You can see the really nice ABCD pattern that completed up there around the 12,500 level. We sold off to a couple of nice numbers down there. Now we're just holding our own. It's going to be interesting in here because we've had a series of lower highs in some of these things that are beginning to look a little bit suspicious. So sort of keep an eye on that one. That will be very interesting. The other one that we want to look at, of course, is just absolutely the opposite, is the, well, almost the opposite because it's so much weaker, and that is the FTSE, which is the London market. So if we take a look at that one, you'll see we had just completed a Gartley this morning down around the 78% level. We rallied about 50 FTSE points from that level. So it's important that these lows that we held just recently should be very important, at least from a short-term standpoint. Longer term, you know, we did make new highs in the NASDAQ and very, very close to some big numbers. Now, one of the things that I wanted to show you is one of the charts from my good friend Jim Bartolioni. And let's just take a quick look here and get this up here so we can see it. 1 second here, and I will get this up here to take a look at it, if I can hit the right buttons. Okay, this is a chart that goes back 30, we're talking about 38 years. That's really what we're looking at. But if you'll see this, the main thing that's important is if you look at that BC swing that's there and look at it really closely, because if you take that and expand it by 1.618, that takes you to the exact tick that we hit on Monday. I don't know if that's going to be the high or not, but that 1.618 number is really, really powerful. You know what I mean? And it's just hard to imagine that would be the exact high, but if it is, it's going to be very, very important. Jim is going to be doing a webinar in April, I believe on April, let me make sure I get the date right. I believe it's April the 6th. I think that's the Thursday that we're going to do it. Let's just double check here. Let's try it again. It's going to be Thursday, April the 5th, and the title of it is going to be Vibration, Music, and the Markets. And I really highly suggest you attend this because he is really good at this, folks. He's a graduate of Annapolis, of course. He was a pilot for the Navy. He was part of a group. I was fortunate enough to train all 4 of the Top Gun pilots. They have really cool names like Spider, Bucky, Bart, and Rooster. Those are their names, and I got my pictures with the planes with them, which is really quite cool. Anyway, he's going to be doing this, and he really went into the esoteria of the markets. I mean, this is where you look at vibrations and things that you don't really see very often. I don't really see it very often. I mean, I get exposed to it, but I don't understand it a lot. The number one person for showing me this stuff is in London, Mr. Ali Zaki, who is my very good friend. He's been out here to see me several times, and I've been over. Every year we go over to visit him, and my handle was chicken. I can't do any of that stuff. It's really funny because they set up here at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. This is one of the biggest Air Force bases in the world. In fact, during 9/11, the stealth bomber came here and landed for some medical emergency from one of the pilots. So it was at the base, and you could actually, well, at that time you couldn't drive by it, but they took pictures of it because the whole town was shut down. But what was interesting is that they set up they have a training thing for the pilots down there, and one of those, Rooster, who's one of the chief guys, said, "Would you like to, give it a try?" And I said, "No." But my good friend Jimmy Elder wanted to do it, and I said, "It's a one-day program. We had to go into it," and it was incredible. Jim said it was the most incredible experience that he had, and he liked it so much he ended up taking a refresher course for the Russian MiG plane. It was like $15,000 to go up on a MiG plane. I don't know what they call it. I guess it's just a MiG Russian plane, and he did that. But that's just, he's really into planes, so who knows that? Who knows? Let's get back to the markets. Anyway, you really want to pay attention to this on April the 5th because it's really going to be interesting. It really goes into Pythagoras and Mozart, and it's just, it's truly amazing how. But since we're talking about that, boys and girls, we lost one of the greatest minds that ever walked this planet yesterday, and that was Stephen Hawking passed away at the age of 76. How he lived so long with ACLS, I'll never know. I saw a documentary on him once where it took him 2 hours just to get out of bed. But what an incredible mind. And one of my favorite things that Stephen Hawking ever said was, "It is mathematically impossible to think that we are the only life on the universe." And when one of the smartest people in the world says that, you ought to be able to pay very, very close attention to it. That leads to the next thing I wanted to talk about this morning, and that is about probability and gambling. What we do here is not gambling. That's intelligent risk speculation, because we can decide when we want to bet, how much we're going to bet, and we can close it at any time. With gambling, you can't do that. Once it starts, the flip of the coin, the blow of the whistle, the spin of the wheel, the turn of the card, the toss of the ball, whatever it happens to be, that is etched in stone, and you can't change anything. But with trading, you can get in and out in a second with just paying a very, very small commission. So that's what's really important. Through the years, I've had 5 or 6 professional gamblers, a couple of them in Europe and 3 in Las Vegas. The 3 gentlemen in Las Vegas all did exactly the same thing. They bet on horse racing, and what they would do is they would bet on the 7th, 8th, and 9th races, and the reason for that is in that type of environment, most of the people, and we're talking about 90% of the people that play the horses lose, and the reason they lose is the track officials and the state with taxes and everything take 16.2% of every bet. So that's a really big hit. Can you imagine starting your trades with 16.2% negative? That's not a very good thing to do. But they were able to determine that if they bet the favorites to show in the last races, 7th, 8th, and 9th, they were overlay. In other words, instead of being a 2-to-1, it might go to 3-to-1, and the difference in the payout between $2.80 to show and $3.40 to show was a huge edge. And that's what they did. And they made a very, very good living at it. And they traded about 15 of the major tracks across the country. Only one of them is still alive, and unfortunately his health has deteriorated really badly. Really a nice fellow too. But he's just not able to do it anymore. Anyway, that's all about what that is about. And I wanted to bring one other thing up, and I don't think I have enough time to do it, so we'll probably have to do it after the break. But I'll start it anyway. When I was at Drexel, Twentyman loved to play blackjack. And when he had a really, really super good day in the markets, what he would do is he would like to drive to Vegas, play some blackjack for 2 hours, and drive back. Well, it was a 3-hour drive, about 2 hours of the way Twentyman drives, and then he would come back. We did this probably four or five times a year, and I'll finish the rest of the story when we get back. 877-927-6648.
The Taz Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the Taz Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Taz Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the Taz Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live, and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we've been reprieved. We've got a caller from California. Daryl, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Nice call in the S&P. It got right to that 78.6 retracement at 2805-ish.
Have to get lucky once in a while.
And I was looking at the NASDAQ as well. Big open, and then it reversed for a pretty bad chart. I was just curious what it seems like a decent risk reward here on this rally this morning to lay him back out, but I don't want to get over my skis, so I was just kind of curious what your thoughts were here.
Well, that was one of the things that we were thinking about this morning was watching the retracements that we had going on in some of these markets. I'll post the one in the room so that the folks can look at. This is the Dow Jones because that's the easiest one for small traders to trade. The S&P, of course, is the margin is a little higher and a little bit more volatile, but the numbers in the Dow are very good. And this morning at 25,200, we hit a perfect retracement, as you can see on the chart here. This makes it a 135 pattern, Daryl. That's where you have two lower highs coming in, and so that is a higher probability trade because you're trading with the short-term trend. Now, anything above 25,200 would negate this pattern. The equivalent number in the S&P, I believe, was 2881 was the number. Let's 2781. Let me get the numbers correct. So it's 27. It's trading pretty much right there right now. So that's basically what we're looking at here this morning.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Does that help?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. Call in anytime. Talk to you later. Okay, folks, let's get back to that situation I want to talk about here. He's given me a reprieve. I don't really want to tell you the rest of that story because you probably wouldn't believe me. Anyway, let's move on to take a look here at this S&P here. This, if you remember from Monday, and this is what's really important here, this is what Daryl was just talking about. This was the chart from the newsletter 24/7 where we were looking at that 78% level to come in at that 28 level, 2805 level in the S&P futures. The cash level was at 2799 and it hit it exactly, and then it's backed off since that time. Whether this is going to be a reaction high this morning or not, we don't know. But the key thing to remember is the news doesn't really matter with this, folks. It really doesn't. Honest to gosh, it's no matter what the news is. I mean, we watched this market go from November during the election, straight up with everything in the world happening to it, and it just keeps going higher. And that really is because it's what it's supposed to do. There's a cycle there that is in effect, and whether it's going to be ending someday, we don't know. Now, the chart that Jim Bartolioni gave us on the NASDAQ at that 1.618 means a great deal to me because in the number sequence, when you're trading, 1.618 is the final number, for where you're expecting something to go. Now, do they go beyond these numbers? Of course they do, and they do it quite often. But for trading purposes, you have to pay attention to it because that's your last moment for risk. If you're buying at a 1.618, all you have to do is to place your stop just about 1% below that because these numbers are very, very good. But if they go below it, we've seen this happen. Look what's happened to J.C. Penney's. Look what's happened to, Enron's history, Eastman Kodak, all these, General Electric. General Electric is going to be selling off assets too, much like we have with Toys R Us. They're in deep trouble. And so it's not always easy in some of these markets. So pay close attention to it. So that's what's really interesting to what's going on. Now, someone's asked a question about the gold market. And I wanted to bring this chart up to you tonight to show you. I haven't updated it as of yet because I'm watching it because it follows these ABCD patterns. You're right, Tucker. The key is everything is temporary. But you'll notice that this market went up and hit the exact 61% retracement this morning at 1330.5. I mean, right on the head. It's dropped about $7. Let's just see if I can get an updated price on it. It's dropped about, let me see. Yeah, it's dropped about $7 from the high, and we're looking for this market to potentially go a great deal higher, but it could very easily this morning, because of the fact that it hit that number spot on, is set up a beautiful Gartley pattern now in the gold that looks like it's getting ready to come down and make the 61% retracement down here at this 1320 again. Let me see if I can get this into the room without damaging everything that TFNN works on. Let me see if I can do this, and hopefully this will pop up and you'll be able to see this is what we're looking at, because we're below that level, so we're heading down towards 1320 in the gold market. So that's going to be interesting. Below 1316, we would be looking at something really, quite bearish, and that's what our long-term feeling is on the gold market, because if we could get silver down to $15, wow, that's the one for the Sister Mary Perpetual at the Widows and Orphans place, because you don't see things like that very often as far as patterns. That would be the mother of all 3-drive patterns. If we get, well, they're all the same, but it would be a really interesting one in the gold, in the silver, if we get that to 1500. This would take gold down to about the 1240 level. Would be my guess, so we'll see. There are a lot of people that are talking about gold in triple digits, but 999, that's certainly possible. If we go below that old low at 1030, I mean, 999 is a heartbeat away, so, we could easily do that without any trouble at all. Regarding the euro, we've had several questions this morning about the euro, and the euro is really doing nothing much more than what we are expecting it to do. We've had a lot of resistance up here at this 126 level, and all we did last night was make a 78% retracement of the last move. Let's put the euro up so you can see it here. I get this off. This is the long term, but the shorter term one, I don't have that one up as of yet. But that's the main thing that you want to keep an eye on, because if we get above the 126 level, then there's going to be sparks everywhere. But frankly, this is really a bearish pattern in the euro, and looking to sell these rallies would be a very, very good thing to do. So so far that's been the case. But last night we did hit, and I'll go back to Twentyman's favorite comment, defy human nature, do the work yourself, and you'll see that the euro went and made a perfect 61% retracement, just absolutely spot on. And the other one that we actually talked about here yesterday, because we have the chart here from yesterday to let you take a look at it, and that is the British pound, and it went right up to this level at the 61% level, right up at that 139 and change, 139.90 level, and it turned down and is already backed off about 60 pips from that level. So again, these patterns fail a lot, but the good part is that when you see the pattern completing, your job is to handle the risk, and that is, how much money do I have to risk to see if I'm going to be right? Because all you can do is, to make that determination and see how things actually go. When we come back from the break, I've got something very special for you to see. It's a research project that I've been working on with someone who's many, many times smarter than me. That doesn't say a lot. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. I wanted to mention I got a phone call from my daughter early this morning in Denver, and she was all upset about the little puppy that passed away being put in the storage bin in the United Airlines thing, and she's very involved with dogs. She's really involved with them quite a bit, and she certainly made a good point, but I can't believe anybody would do something like that. About 15 years ago, when Laren was in Denver, she's always had an affinity for Borzoi wolfhounds. These are these really beautiful dogs that they're long and skinny, and they actually hunt wolves years ago. But she was involved with those, but those dogs cost like $5,000. So she scaled down and she got involved with these what they call Greater Swiss Mountain Dogs, which is a smaller version of the St. Bernard. And she had wanted one of these, and so for her birthday, I bought her one of these dogs. And so she went over to the breeder where she was picking him up there in Denver, and made friends with the lady and everything. And so they went into the house for lunch, and she talked about when the dog was going to be ready and all this stuff. And she called me up and she said, "Dad," she said, "I was in Denver," and she said, "I was in this house." She said, "I've never seen so many trophies in my life." She said, "I don't know who it was, but boy, they must have been really famous." And I said, "Oh, you were at John Elway's house." And she says, "How did you know that?" And of course, my daughter doesn't follow sports very much, and so he and his wife Laren and his wife became friends, and now she's just purchased the second one. She did this one on her own. The old cowboy is not forking out several grand for a dog. Anyway, let's move on to what I think is going to be interesting for you folks. As you know, many times I meet a lot of really smart people in this business, and it's really fun to, to listen to what they have to say and everything. And I want to show you something to show you the bias that's in the market, folks. This is going to be a prelude to something that's coming up. But this is a chart that basically shows the euro on the opening price. If you'll notice these blue lines, you'll notice that the high of the day or the low of the day comes in near the open or the close a certain percentage of the time. But this chart is really not the bias that I want you to see. The bias that I want you to see is this next one that is really, really interesting. Let me just get this one up to let you see it, and you'll be able to take a quick look. There's two of these that I wanted to show you, and this is the euro over a period of 22 years, and it shows you that the bias between the 6th and the 10th trading day of the month is bullish. After the 10th to the 15th, it is bearish, and then from the 15th to the 17th, it's bullish, and the 19th to the 22nd, it's bearish, and that's all you really need to know. And all you have to do today is count up where you are in the number of days, trading days of the month, and see whether you should be long or short the euro. I'll let you do that yourself to see if you like that. But let me show you another one that is absolutely really amazing. And this is going to be a little bit harder to see because I can blow it up a little bit. Yeah, this is going to be good. All right. Now, here's what we're looking at here. We ran a statistical study. We do this in lots of 100, because if you do it in 100, you know that you're probably statistically accurate. And if you look up at the top of the page, you'll see the number of losses, 51, the number of wins, 55. But look at the average loss was 46. Your average win is 73. That gives you a 34% bias when you're trading. In other words, the odds are 34% on your side. Wow, that's a tremendous thing, and you can see what that equity curve looks like over those 100 trades. I mean, that's a heck of a deal. Anyway, that's part of the stuff that we're doing with the opening price. Like Twentyman says, defy human nature. Look at it yourself, darling. You'll love it. Anyway, we'll watch this very closely as we go through. I've been asked to talk just a tiny bit about the VIX index. I believe the VIX index is just getting started, folks. Let me get it up here. Oh, dear. Please tell me I did it. Nope, I don't have it. You know, I'll have to do it at the break because I don't really have the darn thing up here. So I thought that I did. Wow. Boy, there's a mental lapse right there. So we'll not worry too much about that and see how it ends up here at the end of the day. Okay, let's move on here and see what some of these other things are doing. Let me quickly check, because the market's open here. I wanted to check to see how the markets are opening. We want to see if this gold will get down to this 1320 area. We're trading at 1324 right now, and then the S&P, the number on that was 2780, and the Dow's backed off a little bit. Folks, there's another one that's coming up that looks really interesting, folks, and I really don't know if it's going to get there or not. I'm going to post this chart. I hope it comes out the way that I want it to. Let's see if it does. This is the Treasury bond chart. You see from the 25th of February, we've been in a really tight trading range here with a slight bias to the upside because we've had higher bottoms in here. Folks, if we can get this Treasury bond up in this area of around 45.5 to 46, 145.5 to 146 in the June bonds, that is going to be a really interesting pattern to take a look at from the short side. And if we're watching this from a standpoint of, the utility index, if we just take a look at the utility index, you'll see what we have going on here is a situation where we could get the utility index up around 700, and that would make it, pretty much spot on a really good ABCD pattern. In fact, it'd be your first ABCD pattern in a bear market, and that is Gartley's number, page 221, 222, where he spent 2 full pages discussing that, and that would be a very, very good thing to look at. Let's take a quick look and see where the utility index is trading this morning, and then we'll see if this is still in play, because if we've broken down, and I don't think we have because it relates so well with the rest of the interest rate concerns. No, it's still going up. We're trading. We're up today. Good. We're at 68.85. That means we got about 15 points to go to see that one. Let's put the limit minder in. I don't trade the utilities. In fact, I don't even know what those ETFs are. But if we get there in the Treasury bond, that's going to be a really interesting one to look at. This market long term is incredibly bearish, folks. Yesterday, we talked about this from our chart that Bart had sent us. Let's get this up here and take a look at it here. Where is it? Where is it? There. Give me a second. Here it is. 1 second. Okay, this is the 30-year bond going back go back about 40 years. God, it's hard to believe us doing this all this time. But you'll see we're sitting right at this line right here right now. That's a 61% retracement off the low 3 years ago. Let's say 6 years ago. And basically what we're going to be looking at is if it goes below that, in other words, rates go above 3.5 in the 30-year bond, that's it. Back on the far left, you see that? That's when Treasury bonds were yielding 12%. When they first started trading Treasury bonds in 1976, they were trading for around 56 was it 56 to 58, I believe, when they first came out, and that was a 6% bond. So that means that 6% bond was yielding 12% because you're paying a discount and you got the extra interest. Well, now you're down to 3%. I don't know if we're ever going to get back there, but even if we have just a 50% retracement, folks, that'll take the yields back to about 5 or 6%. And so we'll see. At 5 or 6%, the United States is going to be in trouble because they're on the hook for that interest. And, if we got a negative deficits like we're running right now, where's that money going to come from? And that's going to be a very interesting thing to talk about. Boy, this today is going fast today. 877-927-6648.
Would you like exposure to the foreign currency markets without any downside risk to your principal? Then consider the Petro Currencies Market Safe CD from Everbank. This 3-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD leverages the performance of 4 equally weighted currencies from these top oil-producing countries: Brazil, Canada, Mexico, and Russia. This CD features a 200% leverage factor, which means that your potential upside payment will be double the currency's average performance at maturity with no cap if the currencies increase in value over the CD's term. And if the returns are negative, your principal's 100% protected. Returns are based on CD performance with no correlation to the price of oil, and there is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. The April 19th funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a division of TIAA FSB, member FDIC.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, folks, I posted the chart. Someone's asked me about crude oil, and I was looking at it this morning on a 5-minute chart because sometimes, you get some fabulous moves in crude, like it's already moved 20 S&P points already this morning, and, it's hardly open, so it has great volatility, great margin, great execution, terrific patterns. But you'll notice we made a beautiful Gartley up there at that 160, 130 level. 6130 level, and we've already backed off quite a bit, so that pattern is starting to work. All right, yes. When I started this show, we were talking about going to Las Vegas with 20 minutes, and they asked me what I was holding back. I'm reluctant to tell this story, but I might as well because I've told it lots of times, and nobody ever believes me. And I have a witness because someone was with me. We were coming back from Vegas. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. We were trying to make the opening at Drexel, and it was 1979, I believe. The day was August the 8th. I remember it because it was it was actually my wedding anniversary, plus I had just had one of my best runs in poker at that time, and we had to stop and take a little break in the middle of the desert. We were right outside of Barstow on Highway 15 going into Las Vegas, and Jim and I were there, and it was a really warm night. And Twentyman says, "Look at that." And I looked over on the right, and there was a plane. It was not a plane, folks. This thing was, it was bigger than anything I had ever seen in the sky. And it had flashing lights, red and blue and yellow lights going around it. And it was hovering there. And, folks, it had no noise at all, zero. And in a few minutes, it started to move away, and then, poof, it was gone. And now, neither Twentyman and I drink. We never have. And he looked at me, and I looked at him. He says, "What are you going to do?" And I says, "Well, I'm going to tell my family." And he said, "Nobody else would believe it." He says, "Why don't we stop and call the sheriff and see if they got anything, if anybody else has seen it?" So we went into Barstow. Yeah, that's what it was. Bill says it was an airborne casino. I think it might have been. So we called them and asked if they had seen anything like that. And no, it was not a hovercraft. Let me tell you, folks, this thing was so big. It was about the size of three 777s. It was so big, the thing that was making no noise at all. Anyway, that's what happened. So I don't know what that means or anything, but a bottle fell out of the plane, and Twenty went over and picked it up, and he opened the bottle, and there's a little note inside, and it said, "Buy low, sell high." Now that part was a joke. The other part was true. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I probably shouldn't have brought it up, but you guys, the story I have to remember it. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. Anyway, let's move on. That happened to me one other time too. But let's just take a look here at the thing that we were talking about, crude oil. And one of the reasons why we thought crude oil was in a topping pattern, folks, is because if we take a look at what happened with the heating oil just about 3.5 weeks ago, we were really seeing a situation where you had a beautiful 3 drive to a top pattern up there at the $2.15 a gallon level. Then we rallied back to a perfect 61% retracement, and now we're getting ready to complete that big ABCD pattern, which is sharply lower. So that's the main thing. That was not a life-changing experience for me. The life-changing experience for me is when I met a psychic up in, I think I've told this story, up in Pismo Beach, and we sat there, and it was in April, and it was very chilly there at the beach there at Pismo Beach, and we were sitting there on this blanket, and I noticed that it was just beautiful temperature and the sun coming down and the wind was blowing, but we couldn't feel the wind, and she basically outlined my life from when I was born what happened to me and what was going to happen to me. And she's been right about every single thing that she told me, folks. And she told me stuff that, back in 1985, or that was 1986, that it was April of 1986, that I never would have believed. She said, you're going to travel to many countries, you're going to speak, you're going to make many friends, have a wonderful life, and, and it's happened. And she said I would live to be a very old man. Well, I've already passed that one. But that was a life-changing experience for me. I mean, that literally, I don't know who she was. I knew her first name, never saw her after that, tried to track her down, couldn't. But that, to me, was a life-changing experience. How someone could tell me about that. She could tell, well, let's don't get into that stuff. I'll lose my job here, and I like doing this, and so we'll see what's on. Someone's asked a question about this silver. Boys and girls, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but this pattern in the silver is the one that I got probably great grandkids to put through school on this one. Anyway, look at the if you get this 3 drive to a pattern down here at this $15, we're trading around 16.5 right now. That's $1.50, and this thing can drop $1.50 pretty quick, as we saw during November and December. If we get that down there, especially around the end of April, you see where that last leg comes out there. That's just a small cycle that's there. That would really be one that'll be really interesting to watch. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's a beautiful pattern. That equates to $15 is the 61% retracement on the long-term monthly chart for silver. Going back many years. And that price in gold equates to around between $12.60 and $12.40 per ounce. That would be down about $80 from where we are now. $8,000 in gold, $7,500 in silver. That would take them both down. Now, whether we're going to get there, I'm not sure, and I don't know if the news means anything or not. I mean, all the things that are going on are relatively normal. If you remember, Bill Meridian last week was on, and he said there's going to be turmoil no matter what, but they're going to come out of it okay. So that's basically it. The president is not a politician. I think we all can agree to that. And I think he's probably more closer to a human than most of the politicians that we've had. I don't agree with everything he does, but I do agree with some of the things that he does. The gun control, I disagree a little bit, because I don't think anybody should hold these automatic weapons and these assault rifles. You don't need those for hunting or anything like that. Those weapons are for killing. And I know they're fun to shoot, and I've had them, and I don't have many more, but they are fun to shoot. But you can buy a smaller caliber 22 AR-15 that is does exactly the same thing. So that's it. You're correct, Terry. That is correct. The 14th is a Meridian Day. I was going to bring that to your attention. Let's just bring this up to show you where we are. And we'll get it up here, right here. Let's just get it right here so you can all see it. The 9th, with the 2nd and the 9th, we're spot on. And today's the 14th, so we're looking for a trend day in the 14th. So we'll see what happens to it, and we'll look at that. So that's basically it. Thank you for listening to my story about the UFO. My kids never did believe me until much later in life. But anyway, we'll watch it. We have friends that live in Peru, and they see UFOs all the time down there. They never sent me a picture of them, but they tell me they see them flying around all the time down there. And I don't know if that's the case or not, but who knows? Anyway, we'll just watch this. So what's going on? Oh, they're almost at the break here. Holy moly guacamole. Let's just see what happens here. Let's see, what am I going to finish up with the show with? I'm going to try to have Stan Harley on tomorrow. And then next week we're going to have Bill Meridian on, and probably Arch Crawford, and a special appearance by Robert Miner from
You don't buy into that nonsense, do you? You know you can't time the markets. I didn't. And in 2006, I set out on a mission to do just that. I began by surrounding myself with the greats like Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, David White, and Basil Chapman. I read countless books and even looked to the moon and planets for answers. Now, we both know that trading is 80% mental, so I learned the exact tools that Tony Robbins uses to overcome fear. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability. And last March, the folks at Timers Digest began tracking my newsletter signals, which through January 18th 2018 placed me as the #1 gold timer for that exact time frame. Now, I can't officially be recognized until Timer's Digest has a full year of signals, but clearly I've learned how to time the markets, and I'd like to teach you how to do that as well. Subscribers to Mastering Probability gain access to my live and archive workshops where I show you the exact same patterns that earn me this #1 ranking. If you're looking for great market calls and an education, sign up for Mastering Probability today at TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
We're back, folks, and today's a very, very special day for Fibonacci people. Anybody that guesses what it is the next 10 seconds wins a brand new Ferrari. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, meh, meh. It's Pi Day, 3.14. Very good. You just missed the Ferrari. Son of a gun by just a few seconds. Anyway, pi is, of course, one of the key, well, it's the circumference of the circus, of the circle, the pyramids, the 618, 1618, all combined together, and you find that. Someone's asked a question about how I draw the patterns from the charts. This is basically Ensign Software. I met them 35 years ago when they started the company. And they built those things for me and my students, and they're really good. You know, they're not perfect by any stretch, but they do give an idea of where the ratios and the patterns are there. But the whole thing is risk control, taking responsibility, and all that stuff involved that we've talked about many, many times. But if you want to try it out, you just go to www.ensign software. That's ENSIGN software.com. If you have trouble, just give me drop me an email, larrypesavento@gmail.com. I'll connect you with them, and they'll let you kick the tires on it and see how it goes. You get free data from the let's get moving on. We get free data from the Forex banks, of course, but if you buy the data from eSignal, then you have to do it. And believe me, the data that some of these people sell is not very accurate. It's accurate enough to trade off of, but it's not accurate enough for research. That's the bottom line of what we're looking at here. So let's keep an eye on that, and hopefully we'll be able to have Stan Harley as our guest tomorrow. We like to have him on when we come into these new moons and full moons, and we'll see how this comes out. I believe we have Norm Winsky coming in on Friday, as I recall. I'm not sure of that, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, we'll see. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.
folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.